check. Can we have a thumbs up if you can hear me? I can't see any comments in, so I'm presuming that you can hear me okay. Okay. Brilliant. Thank you. So let's start on our mats. Bring yourselves into a comfortable seated position. If you've got a block, feel free to sit up on a block to make yourselves comfortable. Cross-legged or kneeling, whichever is your preference. You can even sit up against a wall if that feels better for you. Important thing is to have your shoulders above your hips. Gentle lift in your upper chest so that your chest, your torso is open and breathing can be easy. Your hands can just rest gently on your thighs or your knees. If you like to have your eyes closed, feel free to close your eyes and just follow my voice. And we just begin to settle. So allow the breathing to settle. If you have your eyes closed, that's great. It just helps to take your awareness inside. Shut out those external distractions. And begin to pay attention to your breath. So there's no right or wrong at this time. Simply observe your natural breath. Notice the rate of your breath. Notice the depth. Is your breath even? Does it feel a little uneven still? And does that change over time? Once again, just taking these as observations. Breathing in and breathing out, natural breath. And when you're happy with the flow of the breath, begin to direct the breath. So we're going to take the breath a little bit deeper. So visualize a place about an inch behind your navel, behind your belly button. And visualize your breath going into that place. So taking the breath a little bit deeper down into your lungs. Taking your breath to that place just behind your navel. And then beginning to fill your lungs. So beginning to take the breath to the navel and then filling the lungs from the bottom and then the middle and then the top. So breathing in, almost as though you were filling a jug of water from the bottom of the lungs to the mid to the top. And as you breathe out, once again, think about the lungs emptying from the bottom and then the middle and then the top. So the awareness is moving bottom, middle, top as you breathe in, bottom, middle, top as you breathe out. So this might be familiar, it might be less familiar, it might be a different way of breathing to that you're used to, but give it a go. Again, no attachment, there's no right or wrong, we're simply taking the awareness to the breath. Breathing in, bottom, middle, top, and breathing out, bottom, middle, top. Beginning to think of the in-breath and the out-breath being of equal length now. So perhaps introducing a count, an even count, so perhaps a count of 3 in and 3 out, 6 in or 6 out, whichever works for you. Welcome to new people that are joining. Feel free to join in at any time, find a comfortable seated position We're with the breath, breathing in, bottom, middle, top, and breathing out from the bottom to the middle to the top. An even ratio breath. That's good. Now at the end of the next out breath, just draw your hands to prayer position. Slowly, calmly, we're going to breathe in once more, taking the hands down, sweeping them up to the ceiling. You can follow the hands with the gaze if that feels okay in the neck. And as you breathe out, drawing that energy, that breath back down through your body, taking the hands to prayer position at the heart center. Good. Now very slowly bringing yourselves into cat position. So all fours, come onto your hands and knees. Spread the fingers and have the wrists underneath the shoulders and have the knees underneath the hips. So we're in a nice stable cat position. Gently draw the belly button back to the spine so that we're not collapsing at any time through the belly. So there's a gentle tone here. And we're going to work with some cat breathing. So as we breathe in, we lift the tailbone to the sky, draw the shoulder blades together behind your back and raise the crown of the head to the ceiling. And as you breathe out, tuck the tailbone under, push through the hands gently so that the back rounds and lifts towards the ceiling and the head comes down between the arms. So in your own time, with your own breath, feel that movement and the breath flowing up the spine, breathing in from the tailbone, all the way up the spine to the crown of the head, breathing out, rounding the back from the tailbone, all the way down to the head again. Using your own breath, it's fine to close your eyes if that helps to take the awareness to the breath. Feeling the spine with each repetition, the spine becomes a little bit more mobile. This feels lovely if you've been sat stationary, either driving or at a desk all day. Just beginning to feel that fluidity come back into the spine. Moving with the breath. Just take one more round. So breathing in, lift the tailbone, shrug the shoulders together behind your back, lift the crown of the head. And breathing out, round the spine, tailbone comes down towards the floor, head drops between the arms. And then come back to a neutral cat. We'll do one more movement from here. We're going to come into threading the needle and then lifting up to the ceiling from there. So lift your right hand and we're going to thread the right arm underneath the body, so between the left wrist and the left knee, so that the whole of the arm comes down onto the floor and you can just rest the head gently. So there should be no discomfort in the neck here. The weight goes through the arm and we're just resting the head gently on the side. It's a nice gentle spinal twist. The hips stay level. Good. And then from here, we're going to lift up. So push into the left hand to lift you up. The right elbow comes all the way to the ceiling as we twist in the opposite direction. Lift the elbow first and then extend the arm so the fingertips come up. And let's repeat that on the breath. So breathe out, come down, thread the needle. And breathing in, lifting the elbow to the ceiling, fingertips follow. Let's do that a couple more times. So thread the needle. And breathing in, coming up. I don't know about you, but each time I do this, I can lift my shoulder. My shoulders feel a bit more open each time. It's a lovely movement to do first thing in the morning or after work. Come back to your neutral cat, check in with the belly again so that we're gently toned there. We'll go to the other side. So left hand, threading underneath the right side of the body. Bring all the arm down to the floor, side of the head down to the floor, and just check that that's comfortable. Give your spine a couple of breaths here. And then as we breathe in, we're going to push into the right hand this time, left elbow to the ceiling, follow it with the fingertips. And breathe out, coming back, thread the needle. Breathing in, left elbow, left fingertips come up to the ceiling. Couple more rounds, thread the needle on the out breath. And as you breathe in, pushing through that right hand. Once more, threading the needle. Push through the right hand, lift the left elbow and the left fingertips follow. Good. Bring the hand back down, back into cat. Tuck the toes under, sweep the hips back, check in with your hands, fingertips spread, push into the hands so that the knees lift and lift the hips all the way up into downward facing dog. And then stepping one foot forward, stepping the other foot forward, bend the knees and coming up into a standing posture. I'm going to do a few rounds of Surya Namaskar A. So I'll guide you through in case you're unfamiliar with that or if you're used to a slightly different variation. I know there are some different variations of the Surya Namaskar. Come towards the front of your mats into Tadasana. Bring the big toe joints towards each other, the heels slightly apart. Feel that there's weight in the balls of the feet, outer edges of the feet and the heels. So we've got this lovely foundation of a horseshoe shape. Drawing up with the knees and thighs, belly drawn in, tailbone tucking slightly under. Lift up with the upper chest, shoulders back and down. Crown of the head lifting up to the ceiling, almost as though somebody had a piece of string lifting you up to the sky. Take your hands to prayer position at the heart center. And let's breathe in and breathe out. On the next in-breath, lower the hands, then lift them up to the sky. And on the out-breath, lowering down, forward fold, hands towards the floor. If they don't reach the floor, find your shins. Breathing in, draw the belly in and lift the heart, lift the chest. On the out-breath, you can jump back if you're comfortable, otherwise stepping back into plank and lowering into chaturanga. Breathing in, lifting the chest forwards first and then up. Push through the hands, roll the shoulder blades behind the back, upward facing dog. Breathing out, come back over the toes, lift the hips high, downward facing dog. And we'll pause here for 5 breaths. So breathing in for 1 and breathing out for 1, spreading the fingers. Breathing in for 2 and breathing out for 2, feeling that you can push your weight down through the ball of the index finger in particular. Breathing in for 3. Breathing out for 3, pushing the floor away with your hands. Breathing in for 4. And breathing out for 4, feeling as though you can wrap your triceps around to your ears. Breathing in for 5. And breathing out, gaze forward, come up onto your toes, either jumping or stepping forward towards your hands. Breathing in, lift the chest, elongate the spine. Breathing out, forward fold, take the belly to the thighs. Breathing in, we're going to come all the way up. If you want to soften your knees, that's fine, keep your back safe. Breathing in, stretch up. Breathing out, back to the start. Breathing in for number 2. Breathing in, stretch up, keep your belly drawn in. Breathing out, forward fold, belly to thighs, allow the head to hang. Breathing in, engage the legs, draw the belly, lift the gaze. Breathing out, jumping or stepping. If you are stepping, try alternating the legs as you step back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Breathing in, scooping forwards first, then up. Squeeze the shoulder blades together behind your back, upward facing dog. Breathing out, back over the toes, downward facing dog. Breathing in here for 1. And breathing out for 1. Feeling the armpits softening down towards the toes. Breathing in for 2. Breathing out for 2. Lifting the tailbone to the sky. Breathing in for 3. Breathing out for 3. Feeling the stretch down the back of the legs. Breathing in for 4. Breathing out for 4. Feeling the belly drawing in and up. Breathing in for 5. And as you breathe out, gaze forward, bend the knees if you're springing back, otherwise stepping back towards your hands. Breathing in, elongating the spine, and as you breathe out, draw the belly in and compress your belly to your thighs, forward fold. Breathing in, coming all the way up, stretching up to the sky, and breathing out, back to prayer position at the heart center. Number 3, breathing in, stretching up, breathing out, forward fold. Breathing in, lifting, extending. Breathing out, Chaturanga Dandasana. Breathing in, upward facing dog, lift the heart. Breathing out, downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. Breathing in for 1. Breathing out for 1, feeling the heels moving back and then down. Breathing in for 2. Breathing out for 2. Breathing in for 3. Breathing out for 3, regulating the breath. Breathing in for 4. And breathing out for 4. Breathing in for 5. And as you breathe out, prepare to either jump or step forward. So if you're jumping, then take a spring. If you're stepping, see how much control you can draw into that step. Breathing in, lifting the spine, breathing out, forward fold, keeping that length in the spine as you fold. Breathing in, coming all the way up. Last one. Breathing out, take the hands back to prayer position at the heart center and pause here for a couple of breaths. If you like to close your eyes, close your eyes. Feel the effects of your sun salutations, a little heat, a little energy, perhaps some space in the body. And then release your hands and come to the center of the mat. You're going to take Uttanasana, so forward fold over both legs. You can either have your feet hip distance apart, or if you prefer, you can bring them together, whichever you prefer. Place your hands on your hip crease here, and then we're going to soften the knees. So we want to try to fold from the hip crease rather than folding in the spine. And softening the knees just helps us do that. So soften the knees and then take your tailbone back into space. So this automatically creates the forward fold, or the beginnings of the forward fold. So we're folding from the hip crease, we're thinking belly to thigh, keeping the collarbones extended away, hips moving back, upper chest moving forward. And we're closing that hip crease all the time. A little bit like a downhill skier, until you can fold your body over your thighs. Okay, so we're thinking body long, knees deeply bent. You can release your hands to blocks, if you've got blocks, to the floor, to your shins, to your knees, wherever they reach. Okay, what we want to do is to keep this contact between the body and the thigh. And then once you've got that contact, we're just thinking about lifting the tailbone up to the sky, not releasing this contact at all. It really doesn't matter if your knees stay bent at this stage. What we're aiming for is this compression here, tailbone lifts, and hopefully you can feel some nice singing down the backs of your legs and your hamstrings. Allow your neck to hang so there's no tension in the neck. If you want to grip onto your big toes, feel free to grip the big toes, press them into the mat, elbows to the side, and allow yourself to draw a little bit further into your forward fold. Thinking about that tailbone lifting up to the sky, activating your thighs. Good. If you're holding onto your toes, release them. Take your hands back to your hips. Soften your knees again and scoop yourselves up into a standing position. Go slowly if you've been upside down for a while. And then coming back into Tadasana, so the start and finish of all our standing postures. We're going to take a balance. So when you're ready, once again, feel grounded through the feet. Have a feeling of nestling your feet into the mat, almost as though you were in sand and your toes were sinking into the sand. So feeling that grounding, that contact through your feet. So let's take tree pose. And again, the hands can be on the hip creases or the just so you can feel the bones in the hip. We're going to lift the heel of the right foot and then turn the knee out to the side. So the foot's still down, the toes are still down, but we're just feeling this opening in the hip. So as you take the knee out, what we want to watch out for is that we don't swing the body all the way around. Keep both hip bones facing forward, take the knee out so that this rotation happens in the hip. From here you can take whichever modification works for you. You can keep the toes resting down, take the calf to the take the sole of the foot to the inner calf, or if you want to, you can take it up to the inner thigh. Bit of a trick here, if you find your foot slipping down, is to push into the heel, lift the toes, push the heel of the standing foot into the standing leg, the lifted leg, and then push the standing leg back. So we're stabilizing the posture. Energy going into the standing leg through the raised foot, and then pushing the standing leg back. The hips even up. Hands can stay on the hips, or you can take them to prayer position. Find a soft, still gaze. If your balance is good, perhaps lifting the hands up to the sky. Keeping the belly drawn in so that we're not arching in the lumbar spine. Find whichever hand position feels best for you. So you might want to come into prayer position with the hands raised. You might want to open them out. You might want to steeple the fingers, whichever works best for you, for your balance. When you're ready to come down in reverse. So leaving the posture is just as important as entering. So come down whenever you're ready, rather than necessarily waiting until the last minute. Returning to Tadasana, finding that grounding again through the feet. And when you feel ready, we'll go to the other side. So lifting the heel of the left foot this time, the knee comes out to the side. Find that external rotation in the hip. Both hip joints facing forward, and find the foot position that works best for you. Once again, you can rest the toes on the floor if your balance is there tonight. Hands can stay on the hips, or they can come to prayer position at the heart center. Feel the belly drawing into the spine. Find that soft gaze point. And if your balance is feeling good, you can lift the hands. Nice, steady, even breath. Feeling the hips evening up through the equal and opposite force. So pushing into the heel and then pushing back with the standing leg. Coming out whenever you're ready, and coming out in reverse, just as we did on the other side. Back into Tadasana. Good. We're going to take the feet wide apart. So let's take the feet wide apart and we're going to come into Warrior 2. So let's lift the heel of the right foot, swivel on the right toes and plant that heel down. So there's about a 45-degree angle on that foot. You might want to modify that depending on your practice. Make sure the back knee is comfortable. You want to turn on the heel of the left foot so that the toes are pointing directly forward. Second toe pointing out in front of you. Allow the hips to be flexible for a moment. Breathing in, lift the arms up to shoulder height, extend through the arms. Breathing out, find that nice deep bend in that front knee. Aiming for the knee to be over the ankle, just because that's the most stable position for the knee to be in. And then once you're here, draw the belly in, open the shoulders out so that they're parallel to the long edge of your mat. And we're going to gaze over the left fingers, looking into the distance. Find your target and settle your gaze there. Feeling as though somebody were drawing you back through this back hand so that the shoulders come back over the hips. Checking in with that front knee. Can you bend a little deeper? If you can, that's great. It's fine if your thighs begin to talk to you. I'm going to work a little bit with the breath now. We're going to come into reverse warrior, and then on the out breath into Parsvakonasana, and we'll do that three times. So when you're ready, breathing in, take the right hand down to the back leg, turn the left palm face up, and let's come into reverse warrior. And as you breathe out, left elbow to knee, right arm sweeps overhead, Parsvakonasana. Breathing in, reverse warrior. And breathing out, Parsvakonasana. Once more, breathing in. And breathing out, Parsvak. Good, let's pause here. It's fine to stay here if you want to go a little deeper, and you can do so without that top shoulder collapsing down. Then you can lift the elbow from the knee and take it to the floor behind the ankle. Keep stretching through that top hand, keep the outer edge of the back heel pushing down. We're aiming for this straight line from heel to hip to shoulder to fingertips. And breathe. Turn the top hand, palm face up. Nice big in breath to draw you back up into warrior two, and then push into your left foot to come straight up. Realign both feet and we'll go to the other side. So heel of the left foot turning out, toes to the right, 90 degrees. Breathing in, sweep the arms up. Breathing out, find your warrior two. It's fine to have a little bit of a shuffle with the feet so that you can find that ideal position. It's important to think about the energy in this back leg. If you soften that back knee, everything goes a bit floppy. Drive the outer edge of that back foot into the floor. Notice the energy you get. Good. Finding your drishti, your gaze into the distance. Right knee over right ankle. Drawing the belly in, feeling that somebody's drawing you back through that back hand so the shoulders stay aligned over the hips. And let's work with the breath once more. So when we breathe in, it's reverse warrior. Left arm comes down, right arm sweeps up. Breathing out, Parsvakonasana, elbow to knee, left arm sweeps overhead. Breathing in once more. Twice more, I should have said. Breathing out, Parsvakonasana. Breathing in, last one. And breathing out, Parsvakonasana, elbow to knee. Once again, feeling that lovely straight line, the energy coming up through that back leg, through the hip, shoulder, top hand. We want to think about the chest opening up, almost as if you were going to turn the chest to the ceiling. Gaze can be up to the ceiling. If that's not so good for your neck, look down or look straight ahead. If you want to go deeper, it's fine to take the hand down to the floor as long as you don't collapse in that top shoulder. And breathe. Turn the top hand, palm face up. One big in breath. Warrior two. And then push through that front leg. Straighten the legs. Turn the feet so both sets of toes pointing forward, but keep the feet wide. Hands to the hips. Just as we did with Uttanasana earlier, we're going to soften the knees. Take the hips back in space and come into a forward fold, this time over wide legs. So soften the knees as much as you need to, take the hips back in space and just feel that that forward fold happens automatically. The crease in the hip joint begins to deepen, and you can lower your body in between your legs. If you can and you want to, take your index finger and middle finger and grab your big toes. Push your big toes into the floor, take your elbows out to the side and draw your body even deeper between your thighs. And then we're going to take the tailbone up to the sky and feel that beautiful stretch up the back of the legs. Allow your neck to soften so your head's just hanging down. And breathe here. Active through the legs. Using the weight through the hands, the elbows taken out to the side to draw you a little deeper into the forward fold. Good. Breathing in, lift the chest. Release the fingers if you were holding them. Take the hands to the hips, soften the knees, and lifting up through the chest first of all, straightening the legs, and then stepping your right foot in, back to the front of your mats. We're going to breathe in here, lift up to the sky, breathing out, forward fold. Breathing in, extend the chest forwards. Breathing out, stepping back into plank, and then pausing, holding here in plank. So let's just check in with a little bit of our alignment. So we want the fingers spread, pushing down through the ball of the index finger. Wrap the triceps so that the inner elbows begin to point forwards. There's a gentle strength through the shoulders. So we're not collapsing, nor are we doing a big round. But you can just feel the energy through the shoulders. Engaging the core and pushing back through the heels so the legs engage as well. Everybody's favourite posture. So, option here to modify is to drop the knees down. So feel free if it becomes too strong at any time to do that. We're going to roll onto the sides of the feet now to come into side plank. So let's go to the left. So outside of the left foot, inside of the right foot, come down onto the floor. Push through the left hand, open up the right hand, elbow comes to the ceiling, and then the hand follows. And holding your side plank. Keeping this hip lifted up. You really have to push through the hand and keep the hips lifted to stay strong here. Again, it's fine to drop that bottom knee down if it becomes too strong. And then take both hands back to the floor, come back into our planks, and we'll go to the other side. So we're taking the outside of the right foot, inside of the left, to the floor, push through the right hand, really active in that shoulder, left elbow to the ceiling, left hands to the ceiling, and hold and breathe. That's good. Both hands down, back onto both feet, both toes tucked. Take the knees down, take the hips back to the heels, and allow yourself a couple of breaths in child's pose. So sweeping the hands back towards the heels, allow the head to rest down on the floor. You can rest it on your hands or on blocks, whichever works for you. Just allowing the breath to return. And now sweeping the hands forward, so coming into an extended child. Keep both shoulders, both armpits quite low, but the arms are active and stretched out in front. And we're going to walk the hands right, left, over to the right. You can take 1 step, 2 steps, perhaps 3 steps. Keeping the armpits low, keeping the body folded over the legs, just feeling a nice stretch down the left hand side of the body. And then walk them back into the centre, back into an extended chart once more. And then step them over to the left. So left, right, you can go 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, however far you can stretch. Think about keeping both armpits down. So the temptation will be for the right shoulder to lift, but just see if you can keep that nice and low, and you'll really feel a nice stretch if you can do that. Coming back to the centre. And breathing in, lifting yourselves up into an upright kneeling. If you have blocks, then you might want to grab yourself some blocks. If you don't have blocks, don't worry too much. You can use books, or you can give this a go without blocks. They just help with the prep. We're going to come into a camel pose, so it's a back arch. So without the blocks to start with, I'd like you to get a feel for what the main movements of camel pose is. And from a kneeling posture, we can simply lift the upper chest. So think about your collarbones here, almost as though somebody were lifting you up by your collarbones. Don't worry about the head, you can keep looking forward. Think about that lift in the collarbones. Shrug the shoulders back and down, and the hands can just, if they reach the ground, they can reach the ground, or they can just hang. So we're not dumping this into the lumbar spine. Think about your belly staying in, draw the belly button back to your spine, lifting the collarbones, rolling the shoulders back and down. And if that's where you are tonight, then stick with that. It will do your upper back great service just to work with that. If you want to go a bit further and you've got blocks, you can have tall blocks, medium blocks, short blocks, however you want to modify this, but have them by your heels. Exactly the same movement, so we're lifting the collarbones up, shrugging the shoulders back and down, but with the blocks we can come into a little bit deeper camel pose. So we lift the hips from the heels and push them forward. Keep the upper chest lifted all the time. You can keep the head facing forwards. If you know you can lift it back with strength, then you can take it back. So you can continue to work with the blocks. It's a great way to modify the posture. If you know that you're comfortable in camel pose, you can either tuck the toes under and hold onto the heels, or if you want to untuck the toes, place the fingertips on the balls of your feet, lift the collarbones, push your hips forwards, lift the upper chest, palms of the hands come onto the soles of the feet, and you can breathe here. Keep pushing the hips forward, keep lifting up with the upper chest, keep shrugging the shoulder blades together behind your back. When you're ready to come out, look forwards and coming down the same way as we came up. It's quite good effort for the thighs there as well. When you're ready to come down, just resting down, back onto your heels. Place your hands forwards and just ease out those legs in downward facing dog for a bit. If it's in your practice, then you can jump through to sitting or make your way into sitting, however works for you. Come into Dandasana. So sitting bones in contact with the floor, toes pointing up, gently active in your thighs. Once more lifting up with the collarbones, rolling the shoulders back and down. We're going to come into Audemars Androsna twist. So let's bend the right knee, bring the sole of the foot on the floor, and then take the foot onto the outside of that straight leg. Interlace the fingers around the knee, use that to help you sit nice and tall. Shrug the shoulders back and down. Looking down at your big toe. We're going to take the right hand behind us, stretch up with the left hand to the ceiling so that we get length through the body, and then take the outside of the elbow to the outside of that right knee. Breathing in, sit tall. As you breathe out, squeeze the belly in and twist around so the belly comes round past the leg. Draw the belly in, twisting from the belly, and then the ribs, and then the chest, then the shoulders, and then your head can look over your shoulder. So there's no strain in the neck. Breathing in, sit tall. Breathing out, twist a little deeper. As this is a closed twist, without being too inelegant, you can move stuff around. So if you need to actually physically move the belly past the leg, that's fine. Do whatever you need to do to feel that lovely twist in the spine. When you're ready to come out, breathing in, facing forwards, undo that leg, coming back into Dandasana. Left knee bends now, take the left foot onto the outside of the right leg, interlace the fingers around the knee, breathe in, sit tall. And breathe out, take the left hand behind to support you. And feel that that hand just enables you to keep this spine straight. The spine twists much better if it starts off in a nice straight position. Breathing in, stretch the right hand up to the ceiling first, get that length, twist from the belly, and then take the outside of the elbow to the outside of the knee. Breathing in, sit tall. Breathing out, barely squeezes in. Feel that the twist comes from deep within, deep inside you. Turn the belly past the legs, move it around if you need to, and then the rib cage, and then the chest, and then the shoulders. The back hand can move around to accommodate a deeper twist. Don't feel stuck to the floor. Each time you breathe out, feel that you can draw the belly in a bit deeper, corkscrew up from the ground all the way to the sky. Good. Breathing in, gently releasing the twist and releasing the leg back into Dandasana. Last forward fold. You may want to grab a belt. So if you know you can't reach your toes without rounding the back, then grab yourself a belt. And we're going to take the belt around the balls of the feet, and use that to help us to sit tall. So for some people, just sitting in Dandasana itself is enough of a forward fold. So if you're already feeling a good stretch up the back of the legs, then that's fine. Just stay here and work with straightening that spine. If, however, you can access some of this fold in the hip crease, once more we're talking about that fold from the hip crease, then please feel free to do so. If you're using a belt, you can pull on the belt to help you sit tall. And breathe out, draw yourself down. If you run out of belt, you can hold your toes. Breathe in, look past your big toes. Breathing out, it's almost as though we were going to hook the nose over the toes. Draw the belly in, feel that compression happens. It's this belly to thigh contact that we want. It's not necessarily head all the way down to the legs. Keep looking forward, keep drawing the collarbones forward, keep folding, compressing. And then when you've reached your maximum forward fold, at that point you can release the head down. If you can reach beyond the feet, feel free to grab a wrist beyond the soles of the feet. But know that there are plenty of places before you get there to work through. Wherever you are, release the head down. Closing the eyes, enjoying that closed feeling that you have in your forward folds. And we're going to very slowly come out. You can keep your eyes closed if you like, but keeping that feeling of calm that you accessed in your forward folds. Gently bring yourself up into a seated position. If you would like to grab a blanket, or if you have an eye pillow or anything you feel would help you relax, then please grab it. We're going to come into Shavasana. It's fine to have a block perhaps under your head if that helps you relax. Feeling that you can lay yourself back down on the mat. Take your arms out to the side. Extend the legs along the mat if that feels okay. If it feels better for your lower back, feel free to have the knees bent. Just take a moment to align the body along the mat. Tuck the tailbone under. Take the feet a good distance apart. Take the shoulder blades towards each other behind your back so the flat part of the shoulder blades is comfortable against the floor. The arms a nice distance from your sides, palms facing up. And then gently close your eyes. Taking a nice big deep in-breath through the nose and let it go through the mouth. Once more, in through the nose and out through the mouth. And on that out breath, just feel everything letting go. Your body drawing down onto the floor, feeling at one with the ground, with the earth. The earth rising up to support your body as your body releases completely into Shavasana. Feel that the back of the neck is long, so move the crown of the head away from the shoulders. The feet gently falling away to the sides. Fingertips curling naturally as they would in sleep. And with your eyes closed, soft behind the eyelids, allow your awareness to travel with the breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Each time you breathe out, feel the body softening, relaxing even further, even deeper. Any other thoughts that come into your mind, just let them float away. Bringing your awareness back to your breath. Feeling the relaxation, taking your body closer into the floor. Each out breath, releasing your muscles a little further. All the muscles of your face beginning to release. Your forehead is smooth, cheeks soft, eyes relaxed. All of the muscles of the arms sinking into the floor. The abdomen soft, the hips relaxed, thighs, knees, calves, ankles and the toes. Letting go. Each out breath taking you deeper. feeling that stillness deep within, allowing your body, your mind to rest in that still place. So as we're all practicing at home, know that you can stay in Shavasana for as long as you feel is right for you tonight. Whenever you feel ready to emerge, come out slowly, starting with some small movements, fingers, toes, perhaps circling the wrists and ankles. Slowly bringing movement back into your body, your arms, your legs, and perhaps taking a stretch overhead. Hugging your knees into your chest, and moving the back in any way that feels nice, supported by the floor. Rolling over gently onto your right side, feel free to keep your eyes closed. When you feel ready, gently drawing yourself into a comfortable seated position. Take your hands to prayer position. Fingers to your forehead, right thoughts. To your lips, right words. And to your heart center, right intentions. Namaste.